Your title has been doing your explaining for years. And one day, that stops. And that's what happened to me. I got a call from HR once. I was on vacation. I had posted on social media, nothing wild, nothing reckless, just a normal post. And HR called and said, "Brad, we don't want people to know you're not working." I was on vacation. That is literally the point. And at the time, I laughed because it was so absurd, right? But looking back now, that call was not just about one post. It was the perfect summary of my career, because for 22 years, I was invisible by design. For 22 years, my job was to make other people unforgettable. That was the work. Find the story, shape the pitch, build the show, make ordinary people impossible to look away from. And I loved it. I really, really did. I got to help build and grow shows like 60 Days In, Intervention, Duck Dynasty, real estate shows, criminal justice shows, and a whole lot more. Thousands of episodes, billions in network revenue, big rooms, big talent, big stakes. And my name was nowhere, at least nowhere outside of the entertainment industry. That was the deal, right? The brand was the network. The face was the talent. The story was the show. And I was the machine behind it. And inside that machine, I had credibility. Inside that machine, I had a title. Inside that machine, I had authority. I did not have to explain why I mattered. The machine did that for me. That is what I did not fully understand while I was in it, because the machine was doing my explaining. Every introduction, every meeting, every reason someone took my call, every reason someone trusted me fast, because the machine handled it. He's the senior director at A&E. He produced that show. He's with the network. I never really had to answer the question, what makes Brad different? Not the title, not the logo, not the network, not the credits, me. Then I left the day-to-day. And the second I walked out that door, I realized something that hit me harder than I expected. When the machine stops, you find out real fast whether you know how to explain yourself. And I did not. Not clearly, not simply, not in a way that ever felt true. I had the track record, I had the experience, I had the wins, but when it came time to explain what only I brought to the table, I struggled. And that messed with me more than I expected, because when you have spent your whole career being excellent inside a system, you do not realize how much that system is caring for you until it's gone, right? Then all of a sudden, it's just you, your name, your story, your words, your ability to answer one question. Why you? Why you? Instead of somebody else with the same title, same credentials, same years of experience, same polished bio. That is the question. And that is where so many smart, accomplished people get stuck, right? Like you, not because you're not talented, not because you're not valuable, because you've been letting the machine do the talking. You are the one I care about. The expert with 10, 15, 20 years of experience who still sounds generic when they talk about themselves. The entrepreneur who knows they're good, knows they can help people, knows they have depth, but still cannot explain what makes them different without leaning on the company name, the title, the credentials, or the resume, or the person whose career has substance, but whose message still sounds like everybody else's. That's the pain. And if that's you, I want you to hear me. You don't have a confidence problem. You don't have a content problem. You don't even have a marketing problem. You have a language problem. You've been borrowing authority from the machine, and the machine does not travel. Your own link does. The company does not travel. The title does not travel. The certification does not travel. Your only does. That's the part that works in every room. It works when you walk into a room where nobody knows your company. It works when somebody lands on your LinkedIn profile at 11:30 at night. It works on a sales call. It works in a bio. It works in the conversation you're not even in. And if you do not know what that's yet, that does not mean you're behind. It means you have more clarity to uncover. And that's the work I had to do. And honestly, it was harder than I expected, because it is the one thing to help other people become unforgettable. But it's a whole other thing to turn that lens on yourself. That is where I'd ask, what is mine? What do I bring that is not the network's? What is the thread that runs through my whole story? What do people get from me that they do not get from someone else? And for me, that answer became clear. Now, mind you, after a long time, but it became clear. For 22 years, I knew how to make people, stories, and businesses impossible to ignore. I just had never fully put that into language that belonged to me. And once I did, everything downstream got easier. Not louder, clearer. My messaging got sharper. My content got more honest. My confidence got more grounded. My conversations got easier. I stopped trying to sound impressive. And I started trying to sound true to myself. And that changed everything, because the goal is not to make people think you're accomplished. The goal is to make the right person feel fast. That one is different. That one who knows who they are. That one is the only. And that's why I also build FindYourOnly.app, because I know what it feels like to have the experience and still not have the language. I know what it feels like to leave the job, leave the title, leave the machine, and realize you still do not know how to explain yourself clearly. And I know how powerful it is when that finally changes. So if you've been building your credibility for years, but still stumble when someone asks what makes you different, start at FindYourOnly.app. Go to FindYourOnly.app. It's 8 questions. It's free. It takes about 8 minutes. And it's built to help you name the one thing your title has been covering up. Because if you've been letting the machine explain you, this is where you start explaining yourself. And once you can do that, everything else gets easier. Your content, your confidence, your sales conversations, your positioning, your ability to walk into a room without needing to borrow authority from a logo. That matters a lot. That HR call still makes me laugh. We don't want people to know you're not working. But looking back, I'm weirdly grateful for it because it reminds me of who I used to be. Valuable, capable, effective, and invisible. I'm not interested in that anymore. Not for me. Not for the people I help. So if this hits home, go to FindYourOnly.app. That's FindYourOnly.app. Start there. Your title is not your brand. Your company is not your brand, but your only is. And once you find that, you stop disappearing the moment the machine does. Be the only. Be the $2 bill.